Hello and welcome to taik18. I'm Mohammad Adnan, and in this video we are going to discuss about we are going to work with delta tables in Microsoft Fabric. If you're new to this channel or if you haven't subscribed yet, just click on the subscribe button and also press the bell icon to get the latest notifications. Now let's get started. So what is the delta table? So Delta Lake is an open source storage layer that adds relational databases semantic to Spark-based data lake processing. That is Delta Lake. Still not understand, right? Yeah, we'll understand that. So as you can see it on the screen, we have a table usually. If I zoom in here, you can see it here. We have tables inside to that. And then you can see on the left hand side, we have a tables. We have a underscore, a table and a triangle icon. So that actually refers to a delta parquet file table here. And then if you click on that, we can see this preview of that. And also if you click here, we can also see another view where you can see it here. This is actually delta log, and then we also have a parquet kind of thing. So those things are actually refers to the file information available inside to that actually help us in order to build the ACID properties and also the version controlling. We'll talk about that now. So what is ACID actually? So it defines to atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability. So if you talk about that in definition, a series of database operations either all occur or nothing occurs. A guarantee of atomicity prevents updates to the database occurring only partially. So if it has to happen, then it's going to happen completely, or else if it will not happen, that's it. That's atomicity. And when it comes to consistency, any changes to the value in instance are consistent with the changes to other values in the same instance. So we can have a consistency on that. So if it changes here, then it's also going to change on the other part of that. Isolation. So other operations cannot access data that has been modified during a transaction that has not yet completed. So the question of isolation occurs in case of concurrent transactions and within the same database here. So this is actually happening isolation. If your multiple users are also accessing the one, then it's going to give access separately for that. It's nothing going to interfere between each other. And durability. So the ability to recover the committed transactions updates against any kind of data system failure. So these things are also a good one. So let's say a transaction, if you want to understand the concept of that ACID property. So let's say you are doing a kind of ATM transactions in a bank, right? It's kind of you are withdrawing any money from your ATM machine in the bank. You are inserting a card, you are adding your PIN and the amount you want to withdraw, and then you are receiving the money. If something goes wrong during that time, that it goes the internet down or the system breaks down or the battery goes down of the system, in that case, if the money counting process stopped and everything collapsed, so it means what will happen is this will check actually the ACID property that user has given the key, the input key, I mean the pass key, and as well as the system has drawn if the withdrawal has gone to that or not. So these processes will check automatically. If something has not happened in that process, then it will roll back all the transactions. That's why we are getting the rollback into our account. If we struck this kind of money in the ATM, then it will roll back automatically in within a week kind of thing in our bank account. So this process is called ACID property on that. So why we need an ACID in this one, right? So that's okay. We are using it for the transactional table, but why we need this for Fabric? So batches. Traditionally, data warehouse receives changes and additional in time of batches of bulk data. And batches would also process in offline hours when reporting needs are low. We can also make use of that. Transformation ETL, ELT, ELTL, which is extract, transform, load and transform, extract, load, transform, and then load. So data moving through the transformation process may need to be changed over time after data has been arrived, affecting reporting consistency over the period of time. Example, GDPR. So we have to apply the compliance from the different governments in the world. So errors may occur during loading, requiring cleanup and retrievals to commit points. Conflict analytical needs. Many implementations saw the need of both reporting on historical data trends as well as near real-time analysis on the current operational workload. So this was generally achieved through Lambda and Kappa activities, Kappa architectures. So standardization and validation. The flexibility of this big data distributed file system need additional validations and cleanup to be usable. So the beauty of Apache Spark, the beauty of the Delta Lake is a time travel. So as like I said in the previous videos, it's going to track each and every version controlling of every transactions. So modifications made to delta tables are logged in transaction tables like this. So we have update on this date, we have write on this date, we have create a table on this date and time on that. So if you want to roll back anytime on that, then you can also make use of that and roll back to a different table. We also shown that in the demo process. And also, if you want to look into history, we can also make use of the history also. We also described that during the demo on that. All right, now let's have a look into the demo for this. But before that, if you're new to this channel or if you haven't subscribed yet, just hit the subscribe button and also press the bell icon to get the latest notification. See you in the demo. Hello and welcome to taik18. I'm Mohammad Adnan, and in this video, we are going to discuss about how to use your delta tables in Apache Spark notebook. This is an interesting thing. So if you're new to this channel or if you haven't subscribed yet, just click on the subscribe button and also press the bell icon to get the latest notifications. Now let's get started. So use the data tables in Apache Spark. So tables in the Microsoft Fabric Lakehouse are based on open source Delta Lake format, right? Correct. And if you have watched the Build 2024 announcement, they're also working on to bring a new format of Iceberg, which is backed by Snowflake kind of thing. So if you want to do the stuff, then you can also play around with bidirectional data movements from Fabric to Snowflake. Stay tuned for that. So Delta Lake adds support for relational semantics for both batch and stream data operations. So what does it mean by batch and stream data operations? So batch in the sense if you are refreshing your data every hour, every day, that's the batch processing. And streaming means if you are getting a real-time data from your IoT sensor or from the log files kind of thing. So those are all streaming data, which we also call as data in motion. So and enable the creation of a lakehouse architecture in which Apache Spark can be used to process and query data in tables that are based on underlying files in the data lake. All right, this is helpful. So first of all, we need to create a workspace, and from the workspace, we need to open up our notebook and Lakehouse first. And I've just added a Lakehouse onto this one. As you can see it on my workspace, this is the Lakehouse which I added here, and inside to that I use the files and product. I have added also the product.csv files inside to this one. Now I need to create a notebook and then do all kind of other stuff in order to play around with this one Lakehouse and an Apache Spark. So to create a notebook, either I can click on new notebook on the top menu, or I can also use the existing notebook from that. So I have used the existing notebook here, and this is another window which I have opened up here. And first of all, on the left hand side, this is connected here. If you are not familiar how to connect that, whenever you open up your notebook, if you are opening it from your Lakehouse, then by default it's going to connect to that Lakehouse. If it is not, then you can also do another way. So remove all Lakehouse, for example, and click on continue. Actually, this is going to stop the sessions, not a problem. So here, let me copy this Lakehouse name. And then here we have an option about add a Lakehouse. This is actually the notebook look and feel UI. Add a Lakehouse. It's now asking about a new Lakehouse or an existing Lakehouse. I just want to add an existing one. And this is the pop-up window, usually how we get for all the other save as kind of approach. Okay, so here I need to select my Lakehouse and click on add. This is going to add the Lakehouse here. As usual, we'll see two different folder tables and files. Okay, so inside to that one files, we can see this product.csv. So this is what we are going to read here onto this notebook option. So if I click on this one, we see here we have an option about copy ABFS path. You can also read the data in the notebook using ABFS path, or also you can use other way also. So you can also copy and paste it here, which is I'm going to use it on this notebook. Or else if I just drag and drop this product into this canvas, but it gives option here. If I minimize this thing, which I don't need now, you can see it has added a new script itself for me by creating a new cell. That's beautiful. Data frame spark.read format CSV option header equal to true. The first row is header, and load from this notebook connected to this notebook. I mean, from this Lakehouse connected to this notebook, and it's actually under the files and product folder product.csv. That's beautiful, right? It has given all that available information here. And DF is now a Spark data frame containing CSV data from this one. That's what it is mentioned here. So display.df means going to display all the records. This is a similar approach what we had done here. But instead of using this load information from this data, we are just use the ABFS path here. Both of them are used. So we can use the ABFS path also, and we can use it here. We have seen about how we can get that ABFS path. But if you're taking it from the Lakehouse directly, then you need to go to the Lakehouse, and this is the product.csv. Clicking here three times, three dot icon, and click on properties. And here also you can see we have an ABFS path. You can just use this one and then use it on your notebook. So finally, you have a data.head.10, which is equal to, it's going to load the top 10 information itself. It's not going to load everything, it's just going to load top 10 information. That's correct. So if you want to delete these things, so I can just select here and then delete this one because I don't need the top one. So it is now deleted. So now you can see this is now reading the information into a data frame, and we are loading the data from the data frame, the top 10 records. That's beautiful. And then I created here another code, which is we are writing here data frame.write format delta, save as a table, manage product. I just ran here. So if you click on this one and look for this Lakehouse, we can see a new table added here, delta table, which is basically the managed products. That's beautiful. And adding up another code here, which is the df.format delta.save as table external products. So here this has to be delta, and the path is showing up here. It has to be ABFS demo one lake fabric Lakehouse file external product. So it is asking us to load it here inside to this one. If I click on this external folders product, now you can see we have a delta table like this. So if you want to load this as a delta table itself inside the table section, then this will be added as a table, proper table here. But if you want to show this information inside to the file section, like how it has added here, previously it says as save as this one. And on this example, it is save as this one, but this has to save in this path. So it has given ABFS path here, and that's why it has stored in a different format, which is a delta log separate, and these three things are separate, three different files for them. So one can be have a Parquet extension and another file which has also the Parquet extension also here. So the delta table log is actually contains the log of these things, which is the JSON format here. All right. So this is more flexible here. So if you want to do this kind of stuff, you can also do that. So if you want to describe your formatted managed product, how we can, I have just used here Spark SQL language instead of Python, Spark Python. So here I use percentage SQL, or I can also select from this drop down to select any language. And I just use describe formatted managed product. So it has given the detail about what is this one and what are the columns it contains, and about the string of the data type of the column, and the location, everything is mentioned from this particular folder. That's also great. You can also use that. And here, that's the same thing which is showing up here. And then if you look into this one, we have a managed product and external product, two of them. So this is one is for the managed product showing up here. Product ID, everything is string. And here this we can expand these options. So this is managed, delta, everything is same. But if I scroll down for this, everything is string. This external and delta, ABS pass, everything is giving up here the option. So if I expand it, this one. Yeah, all this good looks good here. All the information we can get on that. And here, if you want to drop the tables, then you can use this one like SQL statement, drop here. Then it's going to drop both of them here. That's beautiful. When this is executed, then you can just click on this refresh icon from the three dot icon of the table folder. I click on this one and hit refresh. Then this is not available. If I click on this one and hit refresh, yeah, so this is showing some error here that external products folder is not available. Actually, this is not a table. This is a kind of folder itself. So that's the reason it is not used here. So this is my error. We can just move on to this one. All right. So if you want to create a new table and you are familiar with the SQL background like me, then you can click on this one. You can create a code. For example, I will do it here. And here you can just select here Python to be Spark SQL. Then this, by default, it is going to add double percentage and SQL. And you need to write here create table product using delta location from this external product folders. So from this one, you need to create a product table. That's what it is mentioned here. So if you execute this one, let's assume that we want to create product 02 here. And we have some files inside to this folder here, right? If you're not sure, just click on this one and you see we have a data folders and everything. So based on this, if you want to create a table, then how we can do that? So far, we directly converted the CSV into this folder, into a delta table. Now, if you want to create from these files into this one delta table, then you can just use this statement. And this is going to create another table for me, which is the product one, which is running executed. So let's refresh this here. Now we should see product 02. That's beautiful. And here I want to query here product 02, and this time limit to be 10. And then click on run. This is also SQL. So that's amazing. So it is good to learn the Python because Python is a versatile language, but still to start with H1, I can also use the SQL, so which is amazing up here. Now you can see we have a data for the product 02 and showing up here. That's beautiful. And if you want to update something on this one, like update product set list price equal to list price multiplied by, it is multiplied by 0.9, where only the category is equal to mountain bikes here. So if I execute this one, then it is going to update only the list price for the category of mountain bikes. And then we'll also have a look what is the status of that. And so it has affected here 32 rows. That's cool. If I run on this one, mountain bikes here 3059.01. So let's run this. I'm just going the previous state and running this one. That's not a problem. You can run forth and back also here. So you see it has changed the value something else because for 3, 5 something, now it is changed the value. So we have an option here to drop down run all above this cell or run this cell and all below or freeze cell, that you can freeze the cell. It will not run on that. All right, so we have a described history of the product table, which is this one. This is actually updated on the products table, right? So we also need to modify this here. Anyway, it's going to run on the same thing itself, not a problem. This is also product 2. And if I execute this SQL statement, update product 02 list price equal to this one, and this is also running the product 2 itself. So right now we can see the mountain bike showing up 2753. If I execute this now, let's see what is the result here. Yeah, it's changed from 27 to 24 here. That's correct. And finally, we have the option about describe product history. So let's take a look of the product 02 here, //SQL and this one. The beauty of Delta Lake is it keeps a track of every changes what we have done here. You see it has not given the option about 4 changes with the timestamp, and also it has given this operations and operation parameter. I just updated this one, it has given the track of that, and you see it is updated what are the categories and what is the mountain bike, everything is detailed information showing up here. That's amazing. So beautiful here. So unremote this one. So it has given all the major information. It keeps a track of every changes what I have done here. So we can use describe history and then product table name. That's it. And finally, we can use this option. We can have the external product table on this one. Current data equal to spark.read data from this use options, and then get the current data, get the version 0 data. So if you want to get back to any old version, like here, I just updated the folder, the table product 02 into something else, and I want to get the data of the old version, then also we can get that. This is really amazing thing. So here I'm using this external product table, and this is the one. I have this table, this information which is showing up here. Now you can see both of them are running up here. The first one is showing up here, the mountain bike 3059.99, and here 3309 for the mountain bikes here for the category, and after that 3347, which is a different value here. The reason is because, and also if you see here, everything is showing up a mountain bike. That's okay, no issues. So the reason is because we just use the update statement. So if we did some changes to this our table, delta table, unknowingly, then we have a version controlling here by default so that we can switch back to our old version here. That's beautiful here, right? So no need to worry about if you did something wrong on that. We can anyway version it back to this one. All right, that's beautiful. And also we notice here, it's given a version 01234. So if you want to switch back to any version, like here, we are switching it back here. So original data Spark read from delta option version as of number 0, load data from this table delta path here. That's beautiful, right? So we can use this statement in order to get the data from the old version here. That's how we can play around with that. So this is beautiful to look into that, working with the Spark notebook in order to get our old version of the data back to the table. And we can reuse that if you want to reuse that as well, right? If you can write back and then reuse that. Right now it is just used into a data frame, and that from data frame we can write it back to another version like how we did here. If I just go to the upside here, we have a write to the data. Where is that? Yeah, here you can see data frame dot write format delta save as this one. So let's copy this, and I'm actually excited to load this one, and let's add a new code beside to this one. And let's paste this one df.write instead of this one. Let me copy this one original data and select this one original data.write format delta save as table. This has to be products 3 underscore original. Okay, let's give it a name here, original itself. So now let's run this one. Yeah, I think we have not loaded this first, so that's the reason. So this was the old storage showing up here, but it's still, if I just run this one, this is going to reload the data here. This is running now. Completed and committed executed here. Now you can see we have a 2478 first, and here this showing 3339. That's the original data which you are seeing. And if you click run this again now, this is going to add a new table here from the list here. This is running. Excited to see the data here. All right, it succeeded here. Let's refresh the tables here. Now we should see product original. So let's drag and drop here. Yeah. Okay, it added inside to that itself, but actually I just don't want in that way. Let's add this value into a new area. So it is added a new table here, which is this one. Limit, I just want this to be top 10. That should be fine. I'm just keeping only these two things, and then see this one showing up this value, which is 330. I'm just showing up here only for the original table, which is 3309. Let's copy this and add it into another cell. And here this time this can be just df underscore 02. And this also can be 02 itself instead of original. Yeah, and this also has to be 02. So let's execute this to compare the result. So initially it was like select star from this table. Don't we have this one? Products. Okay, I just missed the S here. That's the reason. Okay, so if I run this one now. All right, 2478, that's the latest one, and the old one, which is original 3399. That's beautiful to look the information which we can get using the notebook and the data table. If you learn something new and if you like this video, then hit the big thumbs up button. If you're new to this channel or if you haven't subscribed yet, just hit the subscribe button and also press the bell icon to get the latest notifications. But make sure to turn on the notification on your devices. Share it with your friends and colleagues. If you have any queries and feedback, let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. Keep learning. See you in the next video.